Mataji, thank you for joining in. Prabhuji, we can start with the Mangla Charan. Would Ritu Mataji, would you like to do the Mangla Charan?
Yeah, Mataji, okay. I'll do that.
Okay.
ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहित कृष्ण चैतन्य श्री विशाखा विंताश्च
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. Now continue, Mataji.
हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिया पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ritu Mataji, for the excellent Mangla Charan. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Prabhuji. Please accept our Dandvat Pranam from everybody who have joined the group and are about to join. Prabhuji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, and we are now on Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the cause of all causes. And today, Prabhuji, we are on text 3, 4, and 5. So over to you, Prabhuji. If you want, we can read some things for you.
Yes. So we are covering 3 verses today, 3, 4, and 5. So I'll be reading the Sanskrit and the verses, and then you can read the purport here. Text 3. Sarvam hi etat bhavan veda bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu kara malaka vad vishwam vijnana vashitam tava. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. My dear father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, and whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe is within your grip, just like a walnut. You can read the purport, Mother. Text 3.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Brahma is the direct creator of the manifested universe and everything within the universe. He therefore knows what happened in the past, what will happen in the future, and what is happening in the present. 3 principal items, namely the living being, the phenomenal world, and the controller, are all in continuous action, past, present, and future. And the direct manager is supposed to know everything of such actions and reactions as one knows about a walnut within the grip of one's palm. The direct manufacturer of a particular thing is supposed to know how he learned the art of manufacturing, where he got the ingredients, how he set it up, and how the products in the manufacturing process are being turned out. Because Brahma is the firstborn living being. Naturally, he is supposed to know everything about creative functions. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, text 4. Yad vijnano yad adharo yad parastvam yad atmakaha eka sajashi bhutani bhutair evatma mayaya. Translation. My dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy?
Hare
There are many
Krishna.
questions. But yeah, you can read the purport.
Would anybody like to read the purport? We are on text 4.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kindly continue.
Purport by His Divine Grace J.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Mm.
It was known to Sri Narada Muni that Lord Brahma attained creative energy by undergoing severe austerities. As such, he could understand that there was someone else superior to Brahmaji who invested Brahma with the power of creation. Therefore, he asked all the above questions. Discoveries of progressive scientific achievements are therefore not independent. The scientist has to attain the knowledge of a thing already existing by means of the wonderful brain made by someone else. A scientist can work with the help of such an awarded brain, but it is not possible for the scientist to create his own or a similar brain. Therefore, no one is independent in the matter of any creation, nor is such creation automatic. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. We'll go to text 5 also. Atman bhava sheshetani na para bhavayan swayam atma shakti avastabhya unnan adibir iva klama. Translation. As a spider very easily creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others. So also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without any other's help. Someone can read the text 5 purport.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
The best
Dandavata Pranam.
example of self-sufficiency is the sun. The sun does not require to be illuminated by any other body. Rather, it is the sun which helps all other illuminating agents. For in the portion of the sun, no other illuminating agent became prominent. Narada compared the position of Brahma to the self-sufficient of the spider, who creates its own field of activities without any one's help by employment of its own energetic creation of saliva.
Thank you. So let's go to the points Sri Prabhupada gives here. First of all, we should know who is Brahma. If you read the first canto, very opening verse, we find in the opening verse, Tene Brahma Adi Kavaye. Krishna gave first knowledge to the first disciple, to Brahma. And Brahma is no ordinary being, though he is a living entity like us, but his entire body is made up of intelligence, buddhi. Our intelligence is only what's stored in this skull, but his entire body is made of intelligence. So it's very, very powerful. So here Sri Prabhupada says, the Brahma is the director of the manifested universe. And everything in this universe, whatever you see in this universe, all the living entities, all the shapes, different types of abilities, all have been given by Brahma. Now remember, Brahma is also Prajapati. Prajapati is likened to a potter. If a soil or clay is given to a potter, then he can use the clay and make so many things. But he needs the intelligence or the skill of the potter. So Brahma is also compared to be like him, that he created so many species, 8.4 million species, to fill up the 14 planetary systems. It's not a simple job. It needs a lot of intelligence. He knows the past, present, and future. So sometimes Brahma is also referred to as Vidata. Vidata means one who knows everything. Just like when things go wrong, there is a saying in Indian language, Vidata Jane. Vidata knows. So it means Brahma knows. Now for your information, in our heart, there is Krishna, there is Vishnu, Vishnu is Krishna. There's also Brahma, there's also Lord Shiva, and also there is Yamaraj. Imagine how many are within our heart. So in this way, our life is very much dependent on all of them. And especially if we are devotees, then we get vidya from Krishna. Others are all in avidya. Avidya means ignorance. But Brahma knows who is who. Now, in order to run this creation, at least three have to be working together. One is the living entity, which we call it the jiva. Then we have to have this created world, phenomenal world. If you recall in the 7th chapter, Krishna told Arjuna that I will explain to you all knowledge related to the phenomenal world and noumenal world. Means knowledge related to matter and spirit. And then third is the Ishvara, or the supreme controller. So even Brahma is controlled by Ishvara, which is Krishna. So these three have to work together for this creation. And Brahma, he knows everything. Who has been created, in which way, what was the reason, what was the karmic creation, everything he knows. Here the example is given of a walnut. Walnut is not very big. You can hold it in your hand, in your grip of your hand, and you can look at it. I think everybody knows a walnut looks like a brain. If I'm not wrong, the shape is like a brain. So if you hold a walnut, you can see how many crevices are there, how many ups are there, what is the bottom, everything. Similar way, Brahma knows everything, like holding a walnut. That means if you ask something, he has his knowledge in his hand. Next, Brahma is the first being supposed to, and that's why he's supposed to know everything, just like a manufacturer. If you see anyone opens a factory, I think in Android there must be factory, in other places there are factories. And we can take one example. Let's say a factory which is producing, let's say, sponge. You know what is sponge? They use for making mattresses, yeah? Now, originally the sponge comes in the form of a cake, not very big. Then so much heat is given, it blows up. Just like the ladies, they cook a cake. If you see, sometimes the cake is very small, like a queen cake. It's the size of a walnut. Then when it's put in the oven, it becomes bigger. In a similar way, the sponge, original cake becomes like a sponge. Then it is programmed how much density it wants. And then accordingly, the sponge side is a high density, low density, or an ordinary sponge. In this way, then it goes for cutting. And then so many mattresses are produced. And then the cover is there. So in other words, whoever is the manufacturer, he knows everything. From where the cake has come, because cake comes ready. He doesn't have to make them. It comes ready. And from there, he knows how to make sponge. From there, he knows how to make mattresses, how to cover them. Then there is a commercial part of it, how it is put nicely in a cellophane, how it is marketed, and how it is sold. And then who buys it and who's going to use that sponge or the bed for his bed, how he sleeps on it. We are all aware of our own beds. So imagine where it started. Everybody has a bed at home, but where it started is a very, very, very long story. Similar way, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, example is given of sugar candy. You know sugar candy? What do you call it? Sweet. Now, if you see a sweet, it's very small. And the moment you put it in the mouth, it's very sweet. But very few of us actually have knowledge where it came from. Actually, it came from sugar candy, sugar. And the sugar came from molasses. Molasses came from sugarcane juice. Sugarcane juice came from the sugarcane farm. And the sugarcane originally is in a seed. And it grows just like bamboos. The sugarcane also grows in a similar way. So there's a whole series. If you have all that knowledge, then you know that, oh, this sweet, which contains maybe so much juice that makes this very, very sweet. So we have many, many examples. But Brahma is a manufacturer. He knows every item in the creation, every item, including plastic. He knows everything. So that's why Brahma is very, very intelligent. So Narad Muni knew all these things. So he is inquiring his own father, and he's aware of the fact that he got all this intelligence after doing what is made up of two words. Anybody knows two words which came to Brahma first? Before the creation, anybody knows what are the two words?
Tapa.
Tapa, yes. Ta-pa. Because he was told to engage in austerity. Because he tried by his own endeavor to find out where he came from, but he was not successful. He went to an extent that from the lotus flower he went down the stem, and all we could find at the bottom was just water. Again he came back. And when he was like tired, he was defeated. That's the time Krishna tells him, Tapa. And then when he did tapa for 1,000 celestial years, Krishna gave him the Vedic knowledge. That's where the phrase comes. Tene Brahma Adi. Adi means first. Kave, first student. The first student of Krishna is Brahma. And Brahma acquired the brain, we can say, or the knowledge from Krishna. Because without Vedas, you have no brain. All the knowledge comes from Vedas. The very word Veda means knowledge. You name any kind of knowledge, whether it's physics, chemistry, even IT, whatever it is, all come from Vedas. Origin is Vedas. And Vedas were created by Krishna. Veda also called Aporashya. Aporashya means not man-made, given by Krishna. Man has no capacity to write the Vedas. He may write a commentary, but he has to refer to the original Veda. So no one should be proud of the knowledge or the brain which Prabhupada mentions. And also Narad is very intelligent. Narad is not foolish. He says because of tapa, he acquired all the knowledge to create something. Just like these days we have students going to so many different kind of universities to learn something, including so many kind of crafts. Just like there is an automobile engineer. When a student goes there, he knows how to repair a motor car. But before that, he has to learn what is the motor car, what is an engine, what is a gearbox, how does it work, how does it move, everything he has to know before he's told how to repair or manufacture. It needs brain, it needs education. Or someone wants to learn other things. You name any field, you have to go through a training. So in his mind, one of the questions is, which we just read, that whom did he, like the verse number 4, at least there are 4 to 5 questions. Let's read them. What are the 4 questions in this text? Text number 4. The first question is, what is the source of your knowledge? The second question, whose protection are you standing? Third question, under whom are you working? Fourth, what is your real position? And the fifth is, do you alone create entities with material elements by your personal energy? So many, these are all prime questions. So these are the questions asked by Narad, who is the son of Brahma. As we read further, he may have understood that Brahma has created everything. Then it is Brahma who will speak up the origin of everything. So he is asking so many questions, which you just read. Now here Sri Prabhupada is a scientist who invents so many things. He must have a brain, without which nothing is possible. And then who gives a brain? Is Krishna. Krishna puts a brain in the buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. Now you'll find that we know the famous scientist who was known as Albert Einstein. I think everybody knows. Now you may not know that when he died, and during the post-mortem, somebody stole his brain. Then they did experiments on his brain. They could not find anything. They thought he must be having some special thing in the brain, maybe some computer fitted in the brain. It was not like that. His brain was just like us, but people did so many experiments on it and they failed to find out. And this went on for more than 14 years to find out how come you're so intelligent. And something peculiar about Albert Stein was he used to sleep a lot, he used to relax a lot, and he used to massage his very feet by himself to keep his intelligence stronger. So even like us, if you don't read and hear daily, and if you don't wake up very early, our knowledge about scriptures will also die. So in other words, we also have to practice. And the more you keep your intelligence or your brain working, it will remain active. Otherwise, even the brain will become dead because it is material. It's not spiritual. They used to think Einstein has a special brain, but it's also material. But what is in that brain comes from the previous karma. Krishna says in the 15th chapter, everybody knows the verse. Sarva Shichaham Ridishani Vishto Matha Smriti Jnanam Abhahanam Chana. I am the one who gives intelligence, I am the one who gives remembrance, and it is I who make you forget. Everything is done by Krishna. So they didn't know Bhagavad Gita, those who went to steal the brain of Einstein, that the remembrance is given by Krishna, knowledge is given by Krishna, and it is Krishna who makes forget everything. So Prabhupada explains very, very nicely that if you are a good-hearted person and in the mode of goodness, your intelligence works very nicely. But if you're in the mode of passion, you spoil your intelligence. And in the mode of ignorance, the brain will not work properly because we are already dull-headed, we can say. And then, if you're in the mode of goodness, you'll acquire knowledge very fast, very quickly, because your senses are pure. Not very pure, but at least pure, illuminating, that you can pick things by seeing, by hearing, by smelling, by understanding, and contemplating on the subject. You can learn so many things if your senses are good. But if your senses are not clean, or if you cannot concentrate, don't expect your intelligence to go high. These days, people say he has got a high IQ or a low IQ. What is the difference? High IQ means one who can hear nicely, one who can speak nicely, one who can think nicely, has a higher IQ. Why does it vary from a person to person? It's due to previous karma and the kind of upbringing he has been brought. We have many examples in our schools. And sometimes some children are very, very clever in the school, and later on they become very dull. And some children who are very dull, who used to be like backbenchers, with low marks, later on turn out to be very successful. Who helps them? It is Krishna who helps them. And it is Krishna who decides everything. So, scientists cannot create anything or cannot invent anything without the brain which is supplied by Krishna. It is Krishna who gives intelligence. So no one is independent as far as in the matter of creation, nor is creation automatic. Now here comes the theory of Big Bang theory. Many people think that creation just took place by itself. Or sometimes they say that this creation is independent. No, even the creation is being controlled. Very nicely explained in Ishopanishad, in the invocation prayer also, that whatever is in the creation is coming from Krishna. It is complete and perfect. And whatever is going on in the creation, we human beings know how to or what to do about it. But without that, if the creation is not there, we cannot create anything by ourselves. Prabhupada gives a simple example of a skyscraper. You may have seen a skyscraper, very huge, looks very marvelous. But skyscraper cannot be built if there were no stones, no cement, no metal, no wires, no electricity. No, it cannot come into place. So everything, the basis is Krishna, from whom everything comes. In the 7th chapter, it says, Bhumi apo nalo vayu, kham mano buddhi revacha. These 8 elements are my apara shakti. Apara shakti means inferior energy. From this energy comes out these 8 elements. So anything you see in this phenomenal world is made up of these 8, 5 gross elements and the 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence, will, false ego. So without which nothing can be created. Like children who go to KG, what we call kindergarten, they're given that clay. I don't know if you know the colored clay. Then they are told, okay, make something out of this. So they'll gather the clay, they'll maybe rub it and make a shape out of it. They try to make a man, animal, an elephant, or a giraffe. But you need the clay. Without clay, you can't make it. Or sometimes they're given a potato, a little bigger children. Okay, make like a stump. So you have to cut the potato in such a way. Then you take a pen, paint, and put it on take color from it, stamp it there, and stamp it on your paper. With this way, the craft is learned from the very young age. So everything needs ingredients. And the ingredients are provided by Krishna. That's why Brahma is said to be secondary creator, not original creator. So one of the questions is answered later on, that who is that someone? Narada has that query, who is that someone? Who gave you intelligence, who is protecting you, who is doing everything, who is providing you ingredients and helping you for creation. Now, you find that before this Krishna meets Brahma, it's a very rare thing which happens in Srimad Bhagavatam. You never hear in the Bhagavatam people greeting with hand to hand, only with Brahma. In other cases, they bow down or they fold their hands. There's only one case we hear where after Brahma was created and given the creative energy, Krishna shakes hand. All the best. Just like we tell our child all the best in your exam. In the similar way, Brahma is a student of Krishna and he greets his hand and tells Brahma all the best in your creation. And Brahma followed the order. He failed a couple of times, creating wrong things. Again, he woke up. The good thing about Brahma is like when he made it a mistake, he winded himself up. Again he did. Again he made a mistake. Again he did. So as you read Bhagavatam, as we go to the 3rd canto, we'll hear 9 kinds of creations. You'll be shocked. 9 different kinds of creations. If I can recall, the first creation was the Mahatattva, from which all the 23 elements come. Then from a Mahatattva, the false ego came. From the false ego, intelligence came. And then demigods were created in the mode of goodness. In the mode of passion, the human beings were created. In the mode of ignorance, the lower entities were created. And then Vidya was created. Vidya means knowledge. All others are in avidya, but in a human being, only the devotees had Vidya. Vidya means the human beings were awarded intelligence. I think it's 3:5:17 somewhere. That verse appears there. So when we read this verse, Prabhupada explains so nicely that we devotees should actually be very grateful to Krishna, that he has endowed us with knowledge by which we can know so many things. And you'll find in Bhagavad Gita there's a verse when Krishna says, I give him intelligence. Anybody knows that verse? I give him intelligence by sitting in his heart. Anybody recalls that verse? It's one of the prime verses of Bhagavad Gita, root verses. Tesham evanu kamfatham aham ajnana jamtama nashyami atma bhavastu jnana dipena bhashvata. I sit in the heart of my devotee and remove the darkness by lighting the lamp of knowledge. Please try to learn this verse. It's very useful. Because no devotee can be an ignorance. Always a devotee has knowledge. Because Krishna in his heart gives knowledge. So that also answers one of the questions. that Brahma is also a devotee. There are many universes in which Brahma may not be a devotee of Krishna. But our Brahma, we have to be proud of. He is a devotee of Krishna. And we are also in his parampara. Brahma, Gaudiya, Madhava, parampara. So no one is independent of this creation. It's not that creation is just going on automatically and no one is aware of it. No. In the Shastra it says, Parashaya Shakti Vividaiva Shriyate. Jnana Balak Shriyate. Jnana Balak Kriya. Everything in detail is known by Krishna, even to the smallest thing. Just like the smallest item which your naked eyes can see, a small insect. Prabhupada says, on the airport when you go, you see a huge aircraft. It is equipped with so many instruments, and then it flies. But the same power is there in a small insect. It can independently rise and fly without any equipment. So who is given the brain is Krishna. Who is given the ability to fly is also Krishna. And is very much aware to even protect itself. You may not see a small insect, you may see an ant, how it goes everywhere, just to look for a piece of grain or sugar to maintain itself. And it gets it. So Krishna is aware of everything, is cognizant of everything. Bala means strength, kriya, by his deeds. And right to the minutest detail, he is aware of everything. So here the example is given. Sorry, the second point is creation is not automatic. Don't think it's done automatically. No. There is a creator. Those who are non-believers, atheists, they say that creation is taking place automatically. No, nothing is taking place automatically. Everything has a creator. Even this material world, one cannot say any machine to be made automatically. There must be some creator of the machine. Now, two examples are given here. One is that of the sun. Now, if you see the sun, it doesn't require energy from anyone. Krishna's already put his energy in him. And sun is the only planet which is self-illuminating. And endless heat, fire, light coming from the sun since millions of years. You never hear in history one day the sun did not rise. Every day it rises. And it is sun which provides light, heat to other luminaries also. At night, if you see the stars, the light originally is coming from the sun, or even the moon. The moon is also reflecting light which is originally coming from the sun. But the ingredients on the moon are different, that the light which is reflected from the sun is again reflected to us in a very cold way. And that's why the greenery is taking place. So very easy that Krishna has given us two big lamps. One is the sun, one is the moon. And in the Vishwarupa, Arjuna also saw sun and moon to be two different eyes of Lord Vishnu, of the universal form. Just like those who are Brahmin initiated, they chant this popular Gayatri mantra, Om Bhur Swaha, Tatsa Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Diyayona Chodiyat. Here Savitra means the sun. But for Vaishnavas, here Savitra actually means the eye of Lord Vishnu. So when we chant the Gayatri mantra, we are meditating on Lord Vishnu. And Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. So actually, the whole Gayatri is our meditation on Krishna. So the light here, the Savitra refers to the sun. And that is the example Narad Muni gives, or he compares Brahma to be a spider. We all have the experience of a spider, how it creates a cobweb by itself from its saliva. And he can fill up a space. And the day he doesn't want, he can suck it back in his mouth. This is how a spider works. It creates, it can even walk forwards, it can walk even sideways. That's the wonder of a spider. So he compares his own father Brahma to be like spider. That he creates, everything goes on, and then it even winds up the creation. and he gets winded up back into Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So this some of these points actually makes us think of certain things, that why Narad Muni is asking all this question, because we can understand the mind of Brahma, that he is thinking that his father is the creator. And later on, as you go in this chapter, Brahma will admit, not only admit, he will disclose to his own son Narada that I am not the original creator. Original creator is someone else. So that is how these questions will be answered in the later part of the chapter. But for the time being, we should meditate upon these questions of Narada, which I will repeat them for you. Very, very powerful questions. In the verse number 4. What is the source of your knowledge? So who gave the knowledge? We already know. Is Krishna. Under whose protection are you standing? Again, Krishna. Under whom are you working? Again, Krishna. What is your real position? Brahma's real position, that is a servitor of Krishna. Do you alone create entities with material elements by your personal energy? No. Without the help of Krishna, he cannot do that. He only gives you body, but the soul is given by Krishna in the form of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So that is the soul, the soul and the super soul in the heart of every living entity. So these are answered in detail as we read further. So remember these two metaphors. The one is the sun and the other one is the spider. If you keep this in the mind, then the rest of the chapter is not very difficult to understand. So many people find this section of creation to be very boring. But it's not boring. If you follow verse by verse, you'll actually enjoy it. And it will answer many of your queries. Hare Krishna. So I'll end up here. If you have any questions, you can ask, or anything I forgot, or any additions, or any corrections.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I have a few questions, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you said the body of the Brahma is all intelligence. So is it so? Our subtle body is mind, ego, and intelligence. So that intelligence is the intelligence of Brahma.
Yeah, but our intelligence is limited. Now, if you go to 342, if you go to 342 Bhagavad Gita, it says, after explaining lust, he explains the position of intelligence to be higher than that of mind. So our intelligence, Sri Prabhupada explains, is stored in the brain. That means this is the facility where the intelligence is stored. And I think it's about 32 ounces or something. So that's where intelligence is. He calls it gray matter. Yeah, there is gray matter and white matter. Maybe you know better. Is it the gray matter or the white matter? Where the intelligence is there in the brain?
Gray matter.
Gray matter. So Brahma's whole body is made up of gray matter. Whole body. Not just the brain. Entire body. That is the answer. That's what Sri Prabhupada explains.
And then, Prabhuji, my second question was about, you said that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and even Yamraj are sitting in your heart.
Yes. In every living entity, not only us. They're in the hearts of all. In other words, because we are controlled by three modes of nature, that means Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva is there. Yamraj is there as a witness, which is explained in the 13th chapter. Anumanta Upadashta. So who does that work? Work is done by the feature as Yamraj. So when we die, when you go in front of your Yamraj, your very heart knows what you've done. You may speak a lie, but he has a witness himself. He says, but I saw you doing this. It's like the CCTV. Yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, for the group, can you please explain again mind, the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and Ego.
Ego. Now, if you have Bhagavad Gita, you can open. 342. I have Bhagavad Gita, I can open. You can even use yours. Indriyani parahur indriya bhya parabmana. Manashastu parabuddhi yo buddhe paradashtu saha. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. So this is a kind of a table or a chart Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Because if you don't know this chart, then we cannot fight lust. To fight lust, we have to know this, that actually I should be using my intelligence rather than using my mind and senses. In this way, you know what is it. For example, you are driving a car, and if your car starts wobbling, then you slow down to see if one of the tires has a puncture or less air in it. So you do something about it. I'm giving you an example. So if you find your mind is being drifted to lust again and again, so if you follow this chart, you should see which of your senses contemplating on which object. And why is it getting attracted? At least by knowledge, you know something. Just like when you are very sick, when you go to a doctor, he diagnoses your sickness and gives you medicine. So you have the faith in that doctor that now he is diagnosed by sickness. This he has given me this medicine. So if I take this medicine, I'll be cured of my sickness. So it's good to know everything, analyze everything properly, so that you know what is going on where. It doesn't say that you don't use your senses, but you use your senses. So the same third chapter in the end, Krishna gives an answer how to overcome lust. Number one is to curb your senses. Number two, not forgetting your constitutional position. By doing these two things, you can fight lust. That I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Why should I waste my time in these lusty affairs? Or why did I become attracted to lusty affairs? Because I did not control my senses. Very simple. Is it okay? Now, fourth
Yes.
ego is very close to Atma, remember that. And then the intelligence, and then the mind. So if you don't obey Krishna, if you obey your false ego, you'll be drifted towards sensual pleasures and ruin your life. But if you're intelligent, you don't listen to false ego, you give up your pride and you come closer to Krishna. So many, many times in Bhagavad Gita and several times in Bhagavatam, it repeatedly gives you one message. Give up your pride, give up your false pride, and surrender to Krishna. He says repeatedly. Why? Because even after hearing so many times, we forget. We're all very proud. Some are very, some are less. But at least we are proud to some extent. And that remains a barrier between us and Krishna. Give the pride. That's why Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarareva Saisnena. Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadhavi. Learn to be humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree. Be ready to respect everyone without demanding respect from anyone. In such a state of mind, you'll be able to chant all the time. Okay?
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for that clarification. Are there any other questions or comments from the group?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like in Bhagavatam, first canto also is talking like Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he is giving the transcendental knowledge to Lord Brahma. Then Brahma is creating another creation, Visarga, to all the universe. So point is that if Brahma's body is transcendental and light is full of bliss, then how it is knowledge will be required?
No, I did not say his body is transcendental. His body is made up of intelligence. It's not transcendental body. He's a jiva like us. The only person with a transcendental body is Krishna or Vishnu. But Brahma, his body is, though he's a jiva like us, but he has a lot of intelligence compared to us. Does it answer your question?
But still, if he have a lot of knowledge, and then he also needed this one for the creation. He needed more knowledge.
Yes, which he acquired by tapa. He got his knowledge refined by engaging in tapa. Just like when we do tapa, just like was it yesterday we had Ekadashi? Was it yesterday? We fasted for Ekadashi. The advantage of fasting on Ekadashi is that we remain focused on Krishna. We chant more and it's useful. The same way, Brahma also underwent a lot of tapa. Then the intelligence. Now, even that intelligence did not come straight away. Then Krishna had to educate him by giving him the Vedas. That's how he got the intelligence. So the source of his intelligence is again Krishna. But he had worked hard for it. So if we work hard for it, we can also acquire. Chanakya Pandit says, by tapa, you can get anything in the world. I just heard that in Eldoret you want to build a temple. So you are responsible for working hard for it. If you don't work hard, how will you have a temple? Sometimes you have to work day and night for it. Then the temple can be made. You may be very expert, very knowledgeable, at the same time you have to work hard. And that hard working is
also
is,
this.
Yeah, also.
We know that one in the different Brahman also there are different Brahmas who have 100 heads, who have 1,000 heads. Also they also knowledge. They also need knowledge by Lord Vishnu.
Yes, they get knowledge from Lord Vishnu. Originally from Krishna, all of them.
Yeah, that is the same knowledge.
Prabhupada explains in another lecture that our Brahma is a devotee, but other Brahma may not be a devotee. That means not all Brahmas are devotees. Others may not be devotees. Okay.
That knowledge means the Bhagavatam knowledge?
Knowledge means Vedas. They know Vedas. Veda means knowledge. If you know the entire Vedas, it means you have knowledge. Knowledge means three: matter, spirit, and Krishna. If you have knowledge of each one of them and the entire relationship, that is knowledge. If you go to 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the concluding verses from 36 onwards, Krishna tells Arjuna, if you have this knowledge, then even if people call you fallen or sinful, you will transcend this material world. It means you have the right knowledge. And what is that right knowledge? Is your relationship with Krishna. If you get that knowledge, it's a very high knowledge. How many people on the street, how many people you meet, or how many of your relatives, your friends, or the people who come to temple have this knowledge that he is an eternal servant of Krishna? You tell me, how many people have?
Very few.
Very few. Even we know it, but we forget. We also know that we are servitors of Krishna. And we are meant to serve Krishna, but sometimes we have to serve ourselves. That's where we get bonded.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, are there any other questions or comments from the group? If there are no questions, then can I request, please, Path Prabhu? Hare Krishna, can you please end the session for today? Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Your class is so sober and is full of knowledgeable, like Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu is giving the knowledge to Brahma. You are giving us the knowledge. So we try to don't miss your class.
No, it's
Thank you,
the
Prabhuji.
It's the mercy of the devotees and our Guru Maharaj that we are getting all this knowledge. And daily hearing Bhagavatam increases the knowledge. So it's not that I have knowledge. It's coming from so many sources. Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. I request all the devotees, please join with yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of His grace. Rukma Prabhuji, please join.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa
Vaishnu Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada Srila
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Rukma
Hare
Prabhu
Krishna.
ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Baba.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Baba.